Hello. Today what I want to do is I want to share some knife safety. And I want to share different ways and techniques to keep yourself safe using a knife. If you notice right now, I'm sitting here like this. I've got my blade way out here. It's out here, away from this area. You do not want to get a cut in around your thighs or this area because it can be deadly. So whenever you're carving, make sure that you are out beyond that area. That's the first tip I'll give you. Now I'm going to come up a little closer to discuss something else. So in the recent Apoca box, I had gotten this carving set here. And I was whittling this spoon. Turned out really nice, actually. I like it. Now, while I was whittling this, I had cut myself. Right there. And I also was very careful with every cut I made. I know a lot of folks that use knives on a daily basis, like myself, pretty much daily, not every day, but I use a knife a lot. Everyone I've talked to, they cut themselves once in a while because they use knives a lot. Now, you can minimize how much you cut yourselves by practicing and using knife safety. This here is a spoon knife. I usually don't use a spoon knife a lot for creating my bowls and my spoons. I usually just use my blade that I have. This one here is a very nice tool, and you really have to take care when you're cutting around the bowl and such. You can get yourself into some difficult or uncomfortable positions if you're not used to it. This one here, I did not cut myself with the spoon knife. I was actually carving along the back side with this blade here. These are razor sharp, and I'm carving out back here, and I don't even remember how I did it. But I made sure that which way I was carving and such, if it slipped, I would not get cut. That's your most important way to keep safe using a knife. Whenever you're carving, make sure that your blade, if it slips, it is not going to stab anything. Now I've seen some folks go like this here and carve in here. Now when they do that, they've got it here. It hits here and it does not go any closer. You have to be very careful. There's many different techniques, and people have practiced these skills. Now these here are suggestions on how I've kept safe over the years using knives. Like I said, every once in a while you slip and I get cut as well. So this is never a guarantee, but it can definitely help with prevention of getting cuts. Now you've just always got to remember where that blade is pointing. So if you're going like this, you're not going to be, because you got the blade pointed towards you, the tip. You do not want to get cut. Always, if you can, point the blade in the other direction. When you get into this advanced carving, as I like to call it, you're in different styles of ways to carve. I've seen people even carve like this. It'd be the same way you would with an apple, but I've got my thumb on the other side, so if it slips, and I'm going here. Also just taking the most, amount of force I need, not coming right onto it. So all that, just remembering every cut you make, what happens if I slip? Usually what happens is you get cut. So there's many different carving techniques that people can show and such that can help with prevention of getting cut. But the most important thing to remember is where that point and the cutting edge is pointed. What happens when I go like this? Is there anything that's going to get cut if I go like this? Also, when taking out your blade, you always should either go like this with the knife in your hand to make sure no one's around. If someone is around, tell them that you have a knife or you're taking it out, because they could just be talking and back into you. You may not know they're there and just turn around quickly. There's many different ways that someone could get hurt. So always either mentally be aware of who's around you, or do this. Then you know the reach of your blade and make sure no one's within that area. So that's just a few tips. And just knowing where that cutting edge is and that point is, every time you're making your cut. Right now this is a chest lever. You can see now my blade's not up like this. I do not want it, so if it slips, I've got it straight out this way, and I'm holding it tight to my chest and just pulling back with my other hand. That's another way you can do some powerful carving as well. But I'm very mindful of where this is. That blade is anchored. I'm not out here just doing this. So there's many different techniques and such. You can check on different videos and such and practice them. I'm just letting you know what's kept me safe is by always, every cut you make, remember where that is, and if it slips, where it goes. Hope this video is helpful for some folks, and just be safe out there, because that was only a little cut. It just barely touched it. But when you have sharp knives, it doesn't take much. And now I just kept on, put a band-aid on it and kept going. But now I've got to just keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't get infected. So you don't want to get cut, and always practice safety. Thanks for watching. Take care. All the best.